Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up. Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up. Life is a lesson that we must learn. If you play with fire, you might get burned. If you worry too much, you're gonna get stressed. So brush off the dust and lift up your chest. Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up.
Everyone creeps before they walk. Everyone cries before they talk. There comes a time you gotta be strong. So pick up your feet and sing this song.
Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up. Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up. Don't you worry about how it looks. Not everything was written in a book. Some things you learn as you go. But here's one thing you already know. Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up. Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up.
Nothing is ever gonna keep me down. I jump over hurdles, I'll come around. And if at first I don't succeed, I'm gonna try it again till I get what I need.
Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up. Walk tall, even if you fall, get up. Stand tall, even if you fall, get up. 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 Even if you fall, get up, yeah. Walk tall,